Welcome to beautiful Naxos.
I'm on a journey to Naxos today, helping a friend rediscover his roots. The largest and greenest of the Kyklades Islands, and definitely one of the tastiest. Famed for its potatoes.
These are Naxian potatoes.
Yeah,
They're
the famous.
Its incredible cheeses, and a wide range of meat and fish dishes. Naxos is always a feast.
You're lucky you come from this place.
You're lucky you came with me.
On the island, we prepare a traditional dish, Pudo, succulent whole roasted lamb stuffed with rice.
There are no words to describe how good this smells.
And a delectable vegetarian skillet pie with yellow squash and onions. In the kitchen, I'll be making a layered meat, cheese, and eggplant recipe called Kalogeros. Perfectly melted cheese over the tomatoes and all those delicious pan juices. And a warm potato salad with tomatoes and sardines. There is so much flavor in here. Join me on my Greek table for a delicious adventure by land and sea to the amazing island of Naxos. Today I'm heading to Naxos from its neighboring sister island, Paros. Getting there will be fun. It's not every day one gets a personal boat ride between islands. My old friend Alexis, who runs recreational dayboat trips, is waiting for me at the port.
I don't know what's crazier. Ella. I'm great. How are you?
You need to go to church first.
Yeah, I don't know what to bless the trip or to bless the meal.
He'll be my personal captain on the ride to Naxos. Is it only in Greece that one can travel from one island to another just to eat?
When I leave, I have to blow the horn.
Okay, I'll blow the horn.
So blow the horn. All right, let's go. Now the crossing is going to take about 20 minutes to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And it's going to be quite bumpy.
Alexis and I have known each other for years. He's actually from an old Naxian family with roots that go back to the Venetians. But he doesn't spend much time here, and there are some things about his ancestral land that I know better than he does. Where to find a great mountain hideaway where two amazing local ladies will cook us up a feast is one of them.
So, dear Diane, welcome to beautiful Naxos.
Yeah.
Naxos, the largest island in the Kyklades, is full of surprises. But not all of them are food-related. The Portara, a huge entrance to a never-finished temple dedicated to Apollo, towers over the islet of Palatia. The imposing gray stone Venetian fortress stands as a monument to the island's importance when Venice controlled it. Then, of course, whiffs of grilled octopus in the waterfront ouzouris remind us that we are on one of Greece's tastiest islands. But the true heart of Naxos belongs to agriculture. Vegetable plots, fields of corn, and potatoes, some 8 million kilos per year, are part of Naxos's rich farming heritage. Where potatoes grow on Naxos, cows also graze, and that translates to a long-standing meat tradition. Dairy is another seminal food group here, and Naxos boasts some of the most unusual and esteemed cheeses in all of Greece, almost all made from cow's milk. My mission to help my errand friend rediscover his roots begins.
This is in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
So what are we doing?
I told you, trust me, number one.
The ingredients for a proper feast are in place. And the two maestros are famed local cooks, eager to show us Naxos on a plate.
I'm on a mission To teach you about your own roots as a lost Naxian, I have this amazing feast that I've organized. This is the Pudo of Naxos. We're making a traditional Easter dish, but it's one of the best lamb dishes in the Aegean. It's called Pudo, and it's basically a stuffed roasted lamb. This is Kyria Filio, and this is Kyria Iulia, and they're going to cook this for us. Και όλα αυτά πρέπει να τα σοτάρετε. And they're going to saute the vegetables. Make yourself useful, dear.
Okay.
The stuffing is basically rice, onions, scallions, greens, and herbs, cooked over a wood-burning fire. The recipe always starts with lots of onions, typically red onions, cooked until soft in a copious amount of Greek olive oil. Next, scallions go into the mix. They also need to be softened. Swiss chard, called sesculo in Greece, is next. Then comes the dill, also cooked together with everything else in that delicious olive oil. Then the rice goes in.
Βάζετε δύο ειδών ρυζιού.
Ναι. Το ένα είναι πιο σπυρωτό, το άλλο μελόνι. Όταν βάλεις και το άσπρο, θα μας πιάσει και βάζουν το άλλο.
Okay.
Everything is tossed together to coat in the olive oil. Enough water to cook the rice about a third of the way is added next. The stuffing has to be fairly loose and liquid so that it can cook inside the cavity of a whole lamb.
Κάνατε με κάποιο άλλο κρέας αυτό, με γαλοπούλα ή με...
Βέβαια, και με γαλοπούλα και λαγό, γεμίζουμε, κουνέλι. Ό,τι θες, σκοτώ.
Και λέγεται Pudo.
Το ίδιο, Paros.
Wow, that's a nice lamb.
Massaging the lamb with olive
Massaging
oil?
the lamb, yes.
The meat has to be generously seasoned with salt, Greek oregano, and pepper.
I'm throwing the pepper. All right.
Then, the cavity is filled with that beautiful aromatic rice mixture.
How many Naxians does it take to stuff a lamb?
It smells delicious.
Yeah, it smells great. Έχει πολύ γέμιση. She's gonna sew it now. Να το κάνω λίγο.
Έλα.
We have to also cut the potatoes. At least they're peeled.
These are Naxian potatoes.
Yeah,
They're
the famous. So why are the potatoes of Naxos so famous?
Έτσι λένε, έτσι λένε.
This is the soil.
The ample use of olive oil.
It's what gives us good skin and healthy hearts.
Water, then fresh lemon juice, one of the most significant flavors in roasted meat and potatoes, added next.
Ella, one hand.
Yeah, I can't do it with one hand.
The whole stuffed lamb, or patudo, will bake uncovered in this wood-burning oven.
2-3 ώρες.
2-3 ώρες.
Ναι.
In about 2 to 3 hours, this is gonna
You're
be
gonna
ready.
die.
Most meat cooking throughout Greece is pretty simple. Grilled meats, roasts, braised dishes. This is a very interesting dish from the island of Naxos. It's called Kalogeros. It's got various layers of meat and vegetables. And right now I'm just flouring up some top rum. I'm gonna get these pieces into my pan once I heat up a little bit of olive oil. We want to get some color on this. I'm just gonna shake it out a little bit. As soon as I brown the meat, I'm going to cook it over a mixture of onions with tomato, white wine, some herbs and spices before layering it with eggplant, cheeses, and tomato. And that is the famous Kalogeros of Naxos. I want to get just a little color on this. Naxos is one of the few places in Greece where beef is actually one of the traditional meats. Greece is a very mountainous country. There isn't a whole lot of wide open space for cattle to graze. This is ready to come out. I just want light color on it. I want to drain it on paper towels. And all of this good meat juice and flour will help make the sauce nice and thick. I'm gonna cook my onions right in here. Just wanna get the onions soft. So we just wanna get all these beautiful scrapings up because that's where all the flavor is. And next, as the Greeks say, I'm going to extinguish this with the wine, basically deglaze it. A little bit of white wine. Next, chopped tomato. You want all those juices. I just want to get a little salt in here. A little black pepper. Greeks' favorite spice in tomato sauces, cinnamon, and a couple of bay leaves. Give that a whirl. Get the beef back in here, lower the heat, and let this simmer until the meat is fork tender, melting on the fork. I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for about an hour and a half. Step 2, we want to prep the eggplants. So I'm just going to layer these in the baking pan. Just going to get a little bit of olive oil on each of these slices. Just a little tiny bit of salt over the top, just a pinch. These are going under the broiler for about 7 minutes or so until they're lightly browned. That looks completely done and very, very tender. Eggplant is nice and brown and ready to come out of the oven. And now I'm ready to assemble the dish. Just a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of this nice clay baking dish. So I'm just going to get my eggplant in here in an overlapping concentric circle so that they all fit. Next in the pot, the beautiful meat. We just want to get the meat around here. It smells great. Feta cheese goes over the meat next. Greek feta is always made with sheep's milk or a combination of sheep and goat's milk that's made in very specific parts of the country. The tomatoes go in next. Again, in a concentric ring, you can overlap them. And the last one goes right in the center. Just press the tomatoes down a little bit. We basically just want to make room in here for more cheese and whatever sauce is left in the pot. I'm not gonna let this go to waste. All the flavor is right here. And finally, on top, some of Naxos' famous graviera. Unlike other graviera cheeses from around Greece, Naxos is made with cow's milk. So this is going right over the top. This is going into the oven at about 375 for 15 or 20 minutes, just enough time for the cheeses to melt and for everything to come together in oozing deliciousness. The Kalogeros is definitely ready. I can smell it. Looks wonderful. Perfectly melted cheese over the tomatoes and all those delicious pan juices. Look at that. And it cuts through perfectly. That's exactly what we want. All these beautiful layers melded together. Okay, let's enjoy this together. This is the bounty of Naxos on one plate. I'm getting this incredible silky texture from the eggplant. The beef just melts in my mouth. The tomato provides this almost garden-like freshness, but the two different cheeses, the sharpness of the feta and the sweet, nutty flavor of the Riviera from Naxos just balance each other really well. I'm going to marry this with a simple red wine, a Syrah, from the island of Evia. And these nice, peppery, spicy notes work really well with this rich, delicious Greek island classic. This next recipe is really unique and only found in very few Greek islands. It's a kind of pumpkin skillet pie and one of my own personal favorites. Kyria Filio cuts winter squash into finger-sized pieces. Next, those favored red onions are sliced right on top. She adds a little flour, which will hold everything together, and tosses the mixture so that everything is evenly distributed. She fills the frying pan in batches. It'll take about 8 to 10 minutes for the bottom to form a crust and for the vegetables to be about 2/3 of the way cooked. At that point, she deftly pours off the excess very hot olive oil and flips the frying pan over to turn the pie onto the other side on the lid. Can't have too much of that olive oil. She then slides it back into the frying pan to cook for about 5 to 7 minutes on the other side. When the yellow squash skillet pie is done, she slides it onto a serving plate, ready to dig in. The moment we've been waiting for has finally arrived. I'm making something everyone can relate to, potato salad. Not just any potato salad, one inspired by the island of Naxos, where potatoes have been cultivated since the 18th century. I'm just peeling these, I've just boiled them, and they're warm, but they're not too hot that I can't handle them. I'm just gonna cut these into chunks. You can see their beautiful yellow color. I think Naxos produces something like 8,000 tons of potatoes a year, mostly consumed domestically. Greek potato salads are a little bit different from what we're mostly used to in the United States. Potato salads are often served warm, even when other vegetables are mixed into them, like cucumbers and tomatoes. The rest is very simple. I've got chunky, quartered, large tomatoes here. You could use cherry tomatoes, teardrops, yellow tomatoes if you'd like. Red onion, thinly sliced. This is a robust potato salad. And cucumbers, also thinly sliced. I like to add a little bit of fresh oregano to my warm potato salad. This is something that we eat in Greece all year round, but with fresh tomatoes and cucumbers, it's one of the best filling summer salads. Set this aside and add it to the top of the salad right after I dress it. I'm making my salad dressing next. A little bit of red wine vinegar, extra virgin Greek olive oil, as always. Whisking that in. We want just a nice smooth emulsion on this. I think that's beautiful. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of Greek sea salt to this, just a bit. And a tiny, tiny bit of chopped salted sardines. This is going right into the salad. last but not least, this beautiful fresh oregano. It's as simple as that. There is so much flavor in here. I'm just going to mix this. This is wonderful warm. It's really nice with the difference in temperature between the chilled tomatoes and the chilled cucumbers. When you mix olive oil into warm potatoes, they absorb all that delicious flavor, and it's a whole different experience from potato salad made with mayonnaise. Okay, this looks beautiful. I'm getting a really nice, strong whiff of the sardines. I want to get a little bit of everything on the dish. Some of these tomatoes. That looks really pretty. Time to taste. This is totally Naxos. It's land and sea. The potatoes are amazing. They have that waxy, comforting texture. I'm getting lovely tomato juice. I'm getting a little bit of crisp cucumber juice as well. That delicious fresh oregano. But what's really popping out of here are the sardines and a little bit of that vinegar. This is a total winner, and I would take this over a potato salad with mayo any day of the week.
What a smell.
This is not food for the dainty or self-conscious.
Wow, that looks yummy.
It looks yummy.
Let me try a potato first.
Okay, let's get this guy open. It's like perfect. Kyria Filio has removed the thread and split open the cavity. The filling smells like a Greek spring, so herbaceous and fresh.
What are we doing here?
Patience.
My fork is shaking.
Patience is a virtue. We're taking out the filling. We're gonna serve a little. Oh, that looks amazing.
She spoons the soft, comforting rice filling onto our plates. Together with those amazing Naxian potatoes, and of course, some of the meat. The crust is crunchy, and I could tell the meat is really succulent. The pan juices and the skin, the best parts.
That's the Greek way of saying there are no words to describe how good this smells. Po, 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 po.
Awesome.
There's no such thing as good manners when you've got something this good. Okay, this potato has my name on it. It's awesome. It's absolutely delicious. It's delicious because the raw ingredients are delicious. It's a salt, pepper, and a little oregano. The flavor of Naxos, right here. Alexis, man of many words, how would you describe this?
I would describe it as amazing. Let's try this. I think I'm very good at trying.
I think so, too. Wow. It's very sweet. The onions are sweet, the pumpkin is sweet, but it's also crunchy. I'm talking, he's eating. And this was a really wonderful example of the amazing flavors of Naxos. You're lucky you come from this place.
You're lucky you came with me.
Excuse
You're
me?
lucky I'm your captain.
Who took who here?
You're lucky I'm your captain. Come on, you're lucky you're here.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Είναι απίστευτα.
Εμείς ευχαριστούμε. Εμείς.
Πω.
Naxos is the island of taste, I would say.
From this, I would say so, too.
And taste is simple.
Absolutely.
That's what we learned from this,
Yeah.
those dishes.
Absolutely.
Getting a tasty meal is a simple thing.
No.
You just need to have great ingredients.
Absolutely.
And Naxos brings out great ingredients.
That's very well said, Alexis.
Thank you so much, Diane.